What happens when a country music superstar walks straight into the lion's den of daytime television and refuses to back down from one of the most outspoken hosts in America? The result is a live confrontation that explodes into chaos, leaving an entire studio audience speechless and a daytime talk show in total meltdown. Before we dive into this unbelievable clash, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments whether you think celebrities should stand their ground on live television or just smile and nod. Blake Shelton walked onto the View set that morning with his trademark cowboy swagger, tipping his hat to the audience as they cheered. He was there to talk about his new album, upcoming tours, and the stories behind his music. It was supposed to be a light-hearted segment, but Joy Behar had other ideas. Well, look who decided to grace us with his presence, Joy said with her signature smirk as Blake took his seat. Blake Shelton, the voice of rural America, or should I say, the voice of a very specific part of rural America. Blake smiled politely, though his eyes narrowed just slightly. Good morning to you too, Joy. Always a pleasure to be here with you lovely ladies. Oh, cut the charm, Joy fired back, leaning forward in her chair. Let's talk about your recent comments about small-town values. You seem to think that living in a small town automatically makes someone more moral or more patriotic than the rest of us city folks. Whoopi Goldberg tried to ease the tension, but Joy was already in attack mode. I never said that, Joy, Blake replied, his Oklahoma drawl deepening. What I said was that small towns teach you certain values: community, helping your neighbors, working hard for what you have. That doesn't mean anyone else is less than that. Joy waved her hand. Oh, please. That's exactly what you implied. You country singers love to act like you're the real Americans while the rest of us are, what? Fake ones? The audience murmured as Blake's jaw tightened. Joy, I think you're putting words in my mouth. I respect people from all walks of life, whether they're from New York or a town of 3,000. Do you though? Joy pressed, her voice rising. Because your songs make it sound like real America exists only in the heartland, and places like New York don't count. The air was thick with tension. You know what bothers me, Joy continued, gesturing dramatically, is this small-town superiority complex. You sit there singing about dirt roads and pickup trucks, making millions, while pretending to be one of the little guys. You've lived in Hollywood and Nashville for decades, Blake. When's the last time you actually lived in one of these small towns? Blake's expression hardened. Joy, I may live in Nashville now, but I haven't forgotten where I come from. I grew up in Ada, Oklahoma, population 12,000. My dad worked construction. My mom ran a beauty shop. I know what small-town life is. And now you're worth hundreds of millions, Joy shot back. Private jets, mansions, all that. Don't you think it's a little fake to keep playing the common man card? Blake's smile finally faded. Just because someone becomes successful doesn't mean they forget their roots. I'm proud of where I come from. Proud enough to exploit it for profit, Joy interrupted. Your whole brand is built on this fantasy, simple country folk versus big bad city people. It's divisive and outdated. Whoopi looked uncomfortable now as Blake leaned forward. Exploit it? Joy, I sing about my life. My real life. That's called being authentic. Maybe you don't recognize that because you've spent too long being cynical. Authentic? Joy laughed sharply. You're as authentic as a $3 bill. You're a product of Nashville marketing. The crowd gasped as Blake slowly rose to his full height, towering over the panel. I've sat here taking your shots because I respect this show, he said coolly. But I won't sit here while you question my integrity. Oh, did I strike a nerve? Joy smirked. The truth hurts, doesn't it? The truth? Blake's voice turned icy. The truth is you've made a career tearing people down. You sit behind this desk throwing stones and call it honesty. It is honesty, Joy snapped. Something you might try someday. Blake shook his head. Honesty would be admitting you already decided who I am before I even walked in. Maybe I did, Joy said defiantly. Maybe it's time someone called out your act. The studio was silent as Blake stared her down. You want to call me out? Fine. You've never been to the places I sing about. You talk like small-town people are a joke. But they're not. When someone's barn burns down, 20 families show up to rebuild it. That's not fantasy. That's real life. Joy's face flushed. Spare me, she interrupted. Small towns have addiction, poverty, close-mindedness. You never sing about that. You think I don't know that? Blake's voice rose. I've seen factories close. Families lose everything. But they still show up for each other. That's dignity. And then they vote for politicians who keep them poor, Joy fired back. But you don't sing about that either. There it is, Blake said, pointing at her. That arrogance. You think you know better than everyone else. You think people in New York should tell people in Oklahoma how to live. Someone has to tell them the truth. Joy yelled. People like you profit off their nostalgia and fears. Blake laughed bitterly. I don't tell anyone how to think or vote. I sing songs about life. If that threatens you, that's your problem. It disgusts me, Joy hissed. This fake patriotism, this real America nonsense. You know what disgusts me? Blake stepped closer, voice dropping low. The way you mock people who love their country. The way you sneer at patriotism like it's shameful. Don't question my patriotism. Joy shouted, standing up now. I've fought for this country's values longer than you've been wearing that hat. By tearing everyone down. Blake shot back. By mocking traditions that mean something to people? I don't think they're stupid, Joy snapped, voice trembling. I think they're being lied to. You just called millions of Americans ignorant, Blake said, his tone deadly calm. That says everything about you. Joy's face went pale. The producers were signaling for a commercial break, but the moment had a life of its own. Just walk away, Joy called as Blake turned toward the exit. You can't run when someone challenges your beliefs. Blake turned one last time. Joy, you haven't challenged my beliefs. You've insulted me, my fans, and millions of Americans. That's not debate. That's hate. The truth is mean sometimes, Joy spat. You're right, Blake said quietly. And the truth is, this show used to be about different perspectives having a conversation. Now it's about one voice shouting down the others. With that, Blake Shelton tipped his hat, walked off the set, and left Joy Behar standing alone, red-faced and furious. The crowd sat frozen in stunned silence as security stepped in and producers scrambled to cut to commercial.